Wonderful.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, good to see you
Good
all.
morning.
I'll just take a picture of our attendance. And by the way, let me ask you this question. Like how are you finding this book so far? And do not come up with a generalized statement. Actually say something so that हमें लगा कि आप actually इस किताब को पढ़ पढ़ के कुछ कर रहे हो.
I think the book gives thoughts in a very, informal manner, but we need to reflect and then start living that life. So these are the three steps, I think, though it tells you in a very casual manner. The thoughts behind it are very serious. And just understanding thoughts takes a little time. Incorporating them is the fourth step, and really executing them in our life is the next step.
Now, this is a very generic way of looking at any book. I want
Yeah.
you to highlight something specific about this book that you just really find out interesting. You applied that over the week.
Yeah. I'll come to that. See,
Yeah.
but let's say that when I started listening or reading regarding the book, then the mind was at a different level. Now it is, what shall I say, zero to growth. We develop our beliefs and our emotions start maturing when you read the book, because you know it's you replace problem with a situation, and then you begin to look at it in a very different manner. That's
So, if I suggest you to say in first person singular number
okay.
and present continuous tense, then
Yeah,
what will
I
be
know.
your outlook?
I know that's what you're always telling us.
Yeah,
See,
because that is where the life is happening.
one way of controlling my situation and my problems or my issues in life is to change my thoughts, my beliefs, my emotions. So this shift, this mind shift, let's put it from, it's not zero, but from some level to a growth, is what I start experiencing, I start uh, thinking, and then I want to execute it in my life.
Mhm. Again, it is very generic.
No, then I have to give you
Like if I talk about, say, for example, you just pick up one of these chapters, for example, say clear thinking requires training,
Huh.
or from chaos to clarity, or a very brief history of thinking. Life is not linear. Connect the dots, filter your thoughts,
Hmm.
stop thinking. So, or use what words, we use what works. So, like, see, the whole intention is that as we are reading the book, it is about to read the book through the next week. At least just open the page, read it, and then apply something on that particular day with conscious awareness that this is what I'm doing, with pure intention of applying the learnings or applying the thoughts from this chapter, and then see what happens. Now, that
Mhm.
is what I'm talking about, uh, living the book. It's not just reading the book.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah.
that is what I'm inviting each one of you. Because these Sunday morning sessions, they are not just सेशंस कि मैं वहां पे घुस गया और किताब पढ़ लिया. वो तो आप किसी भी ग्रुप में जाके कर सकते हो. हर ग्रुप में ऐसा ही होता है. They read the book, they discuss about it, they share their past experiences sometimes. What is important is that what are you doing with those thoughts in the present? Because present में जब आप करोगे और उसको जब आप consciously करोगे, as I always say, that being consciously aware and staying consciously connected, that makes the difference. तब क्या होता है ना, you actually अपने subconscious को ये message देते हो कि observe करो मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, है ना. तो नाउ डोंट कम बैक टू मी कि मैंने पास्ट में भी ऐसा किया था, पास्ट में जब किया था, अभी क्या कर रहा हूँ वो ऑब्जर्व करो and follow that. That is how we learn. Like, you think about cursive writing. So how did you learn cursive writing? You don't start with cursive writing, right? You start with just writing. You start writing A, start writing B, start writing C, and then comes this new thing in life के अभी cursive writing करो. and then your subconscious mind resists. बोलते नहीं मैं तो पहले भी लिखा हूँ, I have written A before, I have written capital A, small a, सब लिखा मैंने. बोला नहीं, जब लिखा लिखा. बोले मैं तो, मैंने वो तो मेरा कर्सिव राइटिंग है, मेरा हैंड राइटिंग ही तो कर्सिव है, तो व्हाट इज सो स्पेशल अबाउट दिस कर्सिव हैंड राइटिंग. सो नहीं, इसी को इसी स्टाइल में लिखना पड़ेगा, इसी तरीके से करना पड़ेगा. सो सम चिल्ड्रन रेजिस्ट इट, सम चिल्ड्रन फाइंड इट अ वेरी एक्साइटिंग एक्टिविटी, कि चलो एक नया तरीके से मैं लिख रहा हूँ. सो दैट इज वेयर दिस being consciously aware and staying consciously connected concept comes in. That's how we learn new things. That's how uh, we open ourselves to accept new things in life, though it has happened at the same time. Probably you are talking to the same person, same husband, same children, same in-laws, same business partners every day. But today when you are talking, you know that now I'm applying this technique very, very carefully, very, very meticulously to get the results that I'm looking forward to as I read this chapter. It's like living in the uh, in the now of the author. This is another way of I look at it. And I'm just sharing this concept with you for the first time, that living in the now with the author. When the author was writing that particular statement or that particular paragraph, what might be going in his mind? Now you're reading the author, means you are actually talking to the author. अगर आप तरीके से देखेंगे तो ऐसा ही है, that you are sitting across with the author, you are actually having a podcast with the author. So author is sharing about his or her experiences on whatever he has written there. And आप इसको podcast की तरह अगर देखोगे तो it's nothing like that. And like when you're reading aloud, you can choose to listen to you as if the author is talking to you. You have asked the question, कि भाई, there is this concept called from chaos to clarity. So what do you mean by that? अब author बता रहा है. So you are actually having a podcast with the author. So get into that now mode with the author, and author का now को experience करो when you are reading any book, whether it's a story book, whether it's a novel, whether it's a fiction, non-fiction, whatever. So it's like sitting with the author and having a podcast with you, having it one-on-one with him, and be in the now with the author. Authors का now, author का जो now है उस वक्त, you are taking yourself into that now state of mind. So this is another way of reading these books. In fact, reading any book, I like reading that because sometimes what I say, that you read all you we with first person singular number concept. वहाँ पे आप I से पढ़ो, like I, me, my, myself. Replace all those words. When you do that, you'll observe that you are reading slow automatically, because now the subconscious mind is wondering, यार ये क्या हो रहा है, ये मेरी ही बात कर रहा है मेरे बारे में. So और धीरे धीरे क्या होता है, after some time, so you start getting inside the book, and then what happens is the magic. The book starts getting inside you. When you read the book in first person singular number context, बहुत मजा आता है. And so I would invite all of you to read the book from that context when you're reading alone, not when you're reading in the group. बहुत मजा आएगा. So with that, let me come back to today's recording, today's
Good
sharing. So this is
orientation
where
and
we are
good
going to start.
guidelines. Yeah, I'll start.
Yeah.
Filter your thoughts. There's too much information in the world for our brain to process. So we are forced to filter it. If we don't, we go nuts. And in that filtering process, we develop shortcuts to ease the cognitive load of making decisions. These shortcuts are called heuristics. A heuristic is a strategy we derive from previous experience with a similar problem. One heuristic that everyone knows is trial and error, a strategy for finding answers to problems we face. It's also a way of thinking, but trial and error is not always the most practical strategy. If we would rely on trial and error to build a career, we would probably die before achieving that goal. Life is too short for applying trial and error to everything. Another heuristic that's not practical is social proof. We often make decisions based on what others do or say. And my favorite heuristic is familiarity. It says that past behavior that led to good results is not a guarantee for future results. The familiarity heuristic also explains why we favor things and places we know over novelty. It's one of those things we see every day. We eat the same things, we walk the same route, we make the same mistakes, and we complete the same tasks at work over and over again. And then we complain that our lives are stuck or boring. No wonder you're making decisions based on familiarity. But who says that familiarity is always a good thing? It's good for certainty, but to achieve a breakthrough, you need something different. Making decisions based on heuristic techniques might ease the cognitive load, but they are far from practical, and often heuristics lead to unsatisfying outcomes. If that's the case, take it as a sign that you must change something. Instead of relying on heuristics to filter information and make decisions, rely on the main idea of pragmatism. True is what works, but don't take it too literally. Taking drugs works for me is what a contentious friend told me after I shared this idea with him. And he's right. You can't take this idea too literally. But what you can take literally in life, take the platitude. Good things come to those who wait, for example. I don't have to explain that it doesn't mean you should sit at home and wait forever until good things happen. Look at the look at the look at the true is what works idea as a filter that you can apply to all the information that goes into your brain, all the knowledge in the world. Filter knowledge that impacts your habits. Oh, when when faced with decisions, I ask myself, will the outcome of a decision change the way I live? If you ask that yourself consistently, you'll find that you automatically filter out useless information and only make decisions that have an actual impact on the outcome of your life. You force yourself to use whatever works, that what's useful and what impacts your habits. For example, conventional thinking says that bigger cities also bring you bigger opportunities. I really thought that was true. That's even the main reason I moved to London. And yes, I did seize a big opportunity for me at the time, but I also had bigger responsibilities and problems. Also, I don't like big cities. I hate crowded places, dirty air, and unreasonably high cost of living. Clearly, living in a big city didn't work for me. That way of thinking had a negative impact on the way I lived. That's why I eventually moved back to Leeuwarden. It's quite, I know, a lot of people here. I can work less, make more, and I can drive anywhere in the city within 10 minutes. However, I also realize that for most people, my way of living doesn't work. They might find it boring or not exciting enough. So what? So what works for you? Heuristic. That's a lovely word.
Mm. Let's have a quick discussion on this.
What?
So, filter your thoughts is fundamentally about the communication model of the mind in NLP. And what happens that the communication mind says that whatever information is coming to us, a big chunk of that information or that data we just delete in the sense that we don't consider them or doing anything with them. And then whatever is left, now that number is very high. It's like kind of 2 million data points which is coming to you at any given point of time within a second. And out of those 2 million data points, you are only picking up 6 to 7 of them. Hardly about 9 thoughts that to pick up out of those data points, 2 million data points. And with those 6 to 7 data points or 9 data points, what you and I do is we do two things. One is distortion. Distortion means connecting the dots, like connect it with my past experiences, and then generalization. Now, generalization is something which you and I do very frequently. Even I am also doing it when I'm saying that I'm saying we. We is a word where we generalize every concept, every thought that comes to our mind. That's how the human brain is designed. And why you and I normally use this word we to keep ourselves in a way such that I can avoid responsibility and I accept it the way everyone is accepting it. So I automatically tell myself that everyone is accepting it in exactly the way I am thinking about it, or I am accepting it. So this is what the author is suggesting, that while filtering your thoughts, how about be a little careful, like trial and error, one of the heuristic. So everyone knows, he using the word everyone. The one heuristic that everyone knows is trial and error, a strategy for finding answers to problems we face. Did you notice everyone and we, how he is using it? It is also a way of thinking. So what matters is the way you think about trial and error and the way I think about trial and error do not match. But trial and error is not always the most practical strategy as well. So he's talking about practical. So for some people, it is a practical strategy. Some it is not. It is just a strategy for some people. Some people, it may be a strategy to avoid responsibility. When people say that I tried my best, and when people say that I tried my best, when they succeed or when they fail, or rather, let me put it this way: when they succeed and when they don't succeed, when people use I tried my best, है ना? आप भी देखो. So every time when people say that I tried my best, it is not when they succeed. It's when they couldn't succeed. तभी बोलते ना I tried my best. So if we would rely on trial and error to build a career, notice the word he is using, we would probably die before achieving that goal. So life is too short for applying trial and error to everything. Now that is another logic for many people, that life is too short for applying trial and error to everything. So some people are very smart. What they do, they delegate this activity to others. है ना? कि कोई और करेगा, उससे जो रिजल्ट आएगा, आई विल एंजॉय द रिजल्ट. सो आई डोंट नीड टू रीइन्वेंट द व्हील. लेट पीपल रीइन्वेंट द व्हील. Let people think about how to make a bigger wheel, smaller wheel, broad wheel, thin wheel. उनको करने दो, है ना? मेरी गाड़ी में जो फिट होगा, आई विल यूज दैट एंड फिट इन माय कार, काइंड ऑफ थिंग. So a big chunk of people are like that they prefer not to apply trial and error. They prefer to enjoy the result. घर में आइसक्रीम बनाने की क्या जरूरत है? बाहर निकलो, 10 रुपए में मिल जाएगा, 20 रुपए में मिल जाएगा. घर में बनाओगे तो उससे ज्यादा कॉस्ट आ जाएगा. So this is what the author is suggesting, that how are you filtering your thoughts? Observe and catch it. That's why I am suggesting that you read and practice the book. Rather, read and do the book with full conscious awareness and staying consciously connected, that this is what I am practicing today, instead of connecting the dots with whatever you have done in the past. Because you are not going to filter the thoughts in the same way you are doing it right now, when you are consciously aware and you are consciously connected. So that's my thought on this. Others can add to it.
And does it mean that and he's talking, heuristic, the real meaning of heuristic, what I learned, because it's a European word, is, it's like in school, you teach small children, I'm talking of, you ask them to do something and then they learn. So the real meaning of heuristic is that, but here he's giving a different meaning to heuristic. He's linking up to filtering thoughts. He's going at the level of thoughts, not at the level of this. And I think he talks in terms of trial and error, but trial and error may not be my life and my examples. I can learn from trial and error by the using my wisdom based on others' experiences also. But he's not stressing that. He's stressing one's own thoughts,
Okay, let me
which
connect the
I
dots, ma'am.
think has a limiting factor. My
Yeah,
thoughts
so
may not always be the best.
absolutely, absolutely. But anyway, my thoughts are my thoughts, and that is what I am thinking by default. So even that is where I am doing a trial and error. मैं सोच के देख रहा हूँ कि whatever I am thinking, whether it's going to work for me or not. So
Pinaki, I think yes,
yeah,
बोलिए.
so let me connect the dots as Mangala ma'am was talking about. See, again, he's saying what heuristic is. It's a strategy we derive, or rather you and I derive from previous experience with a similar problem. So this is exactly what you said as the definition of heuristic as well, है ना? मैंने जब उसको अप्लाई किया, मेरे को क्या एक्सपीरियंस हुआ? I'm connecting the dot with that experience when I'm coming to the similar situation again. Yeah, and trial and error ऊपर से दिख रहा है I don't do that, but every moment I'm doing that. Everything, for example, the thoughts that are coming to your mind while we are reading this chapter or maybe reading this paragraph is also a trial and error. मैं इसको करके देखता हूँ क्या मिलता है ना? So चलो आई एम
So,
नॉट गेटिंग इनटू हाउ टू प्रिपेयर एन आइसक्रीम, बट अगर मेरे पास 10 आइसक्रीम का फ्लेवर अवेलेबल है, सो आई एम डूइंग एन ट्रायल एंड एरर काइंड ऑफ थिंग, व्हिच वन इज सूटिंग मी. तो तरीके से
so
अगर आप नोटिस करेंगे मैम, तो हर वक्त यू आर डूइंग अ ट्रायल एंड एरर. इवन राइट नाउ व्हेन यू आर कमिंग विथ योर ओन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, वो भी एक ट्रायल एंड एरर ही है कि मुझे लगता है कि शायद इसका मीनिंग यही है, लेट मी गिव इट अ ट्राई. अगर ये मीनिंग नहीं मैच किया तो आई विल ट्राई समथिंग एल्स.
So is he interpreting heuristic in two ways? One is the my own experience of the past. Oh, that is part one. Second is what I think just now will work for me because I may not have experienced everything in life in the past. So I cannot rely on my own entire past in life. So maybe if I face another problem now or I foresee a problem, then I have to live with my thoughts. So heuristic is, I think, in two ways. One is trial and error of the past, and second is past experience. And now it is at the level of thoughts. Is that so? What he's trying to say?
The heuristic can be anything. This is just one of them. Trial and error is just one of them. Even social proof is also heuristic, what he is talking about in the next paragraph. Heuristic is something कि सबने इसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, लेकिन उसका मीनिंग मेरे लिए कुछ और है, किसी और के लिए कुछ और है. That's what the author is suggesting. A heuristic is something on which we are actually living our day-to-day life. Every moment we are living. There is the heuristic और लोग क्या सोचेंगे. This is also heuristic. अब उसका मीनिंग मेरे लिए कुछ और है, किसी और के लिए कुछ और है ना? मैं बोलूंगा लोग, इफ आई डू समथिंग, इफ पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इट, लोग क्या सोचेंगे? लोग कम से कम मेरे बारे में सोच तो रहे हैं. ये भी कुछ लोगों के लिए ये भी एक थॉट है कि गुड दैट पीपल आर थिंकिंग अबाउट मी. मैंने कुछ तो किया कि लोग अपना काम धाम छोड़ के मेरे बारे में सोच रहे हैं. दैट्स हाउ आई लुक एट इट व्हेन आई से दैट लोग क्या कहेंगे, है ना? सो देयर इज अ हिंदी स्टेटमेंट विच से सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग. मैंने इसको एक नया डायरेक्शन दिया, नया डायमेंशन दिया. इसे सबसे बड़ा योग क्या कहेंगे लोग. It's a connection that you're setting up by doing this activity with those people who are
Pinaki, your
thinking about
voice
you.
is breaking in between.
Okay. So again, that is my view. I am not saying that whatever I am saying is correct. So I'm just again connecting the dots in my own way, within my own perceptions. Yes, Dr. Rajkumar.
See, this is a very nice chapter. अभी मैं मेरे बारे में कहता हूँ, जैसे in CA field the area of practices are expanding. There are maybe 200 areas. So when I was a council member, I was reading each area, trying to do something as a practice in each area also. Now when I look back, and another theory, this 80,000 thoughts which we get every day. 80% of them are negative thoughts. So unless we filter, अभी जैसे आई एम filtering कि मैं लाइफ में क्या करूं, where shall I focus on 2-3 things. तो I concluded okay, अभी मुझे प्रैक्टिस एरियाज में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, सो आई फोकस ऑन HR, आई फोकस ऑन enthusiasm, I focus on memory techniques. So this is a beautiful chapter where heuristic is just trial and error. Something spiritualism comes, I do that. Something else comes to my mind, I do that. So that is a heuristic approach. But a systematic approach will help a person. This is what I understand from this chapter. And for myself, what works for me, the author is very beautifully in the last paragraph. You know, each individual is different, uncomparable. So we have to find out what works for me. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely brilliant.
जी
That's the most important statement. Do what works for you. और हम ideally वही करते हैं. Now, what author is suggesting is that before doing that, just observe the thoughts that are prompting you to do that, or that are like encouraging, motivating, or inspiring you to do that. उसको खाली ऑब्जर्व करो. दैट्स व्हाट द ऑथर इज सजेस्टिंग दिस चैप्टर के उसके पीछे थॉट क्या आपका आ रहा है. कैच दैट थॉट, ऑब्जर्व दैट थॉट. हो सकता है इफ यू चेंज दैट थॉट यू माइट डू समथिंग एल्स that may work even better for you, whatever it is, the way it is working right now. So that is the opportunity. Yes, anybody else would like to add to this before we go to the next chapter?
पिनाकी.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ जी, मैंने भी जब से ये लास्ट के भी 1-2 चैप्टर्स पढ़े हैं, मुझे भी ऐसे लग रहा है कि जैसे पहले ऑथर ने एक बैकग्राउंड सी बनाई है, अब वो अपने एक्सपीरियंस से उतर कर आपको बता रहे हैं कि ये चीजें मुझे करने से, ये मेरी जांच है, ये मेरा अनुभव है, ये मेरा करने का तरीका है. नाउ इट्स ओपन टू यू ऑल. Whatever
Hmm.
suits you, you do according to your way, your circumstances at that moment when the event is happening. Sometimes we think something else, but at that time when the well, when we change our mind, is like filtering your thoughts. And like then you get the right decision at that time. But if you are absolutely calm, now I'm what I read the further chapters also, he's talking about only the experience part of it. Because he has used the word cognitive also there.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am, you are
So
very right.
that shows now he is working more towards the deepest level of the mind.
Hmm. Hmm.
And he's given a beautiful examples also. I mean, that's what I realized. And now when we read further, then we'll be able to understand ki when you think deeply, actually you are going into a meditation at that moment. And when
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
observing your thoughts, then sometime, most of the time is that's my experience, when you're observing your thoughts, when you're sitting still or meditating, or just you're sitting simply sometime like that, when the thought comes, there are so many thoughts which we think it useless, but then automatically they delete. You don't have to make an effort to delete those thoughts also, and the right moment comes, and then you do the right thing. Thank you very much.
अगर
बिल्कुल.
मैं इसको एक लाइन में डिस्क्राइब करना चाहूँ, जो मेरा टेक अवे है कि मेरे लिए क्या अच्छा है, मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, ये सब जानने के बाद इट इज लाइक दैट. थैंक यू.
That's why I said no, he's openly given it to the readers now. कि whatever suits you, you pick up that and
यस
do that.
यस 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 कि नाउ
Because
मेरे मुझे क्या है, अब एवरीबॉडी इज यूनिक, एवरीबॉडी हैज
yes,
देयर ओन पर्सपेक्टिव,
because
ओन
everybody is
सिचुएशन.
having their own situations
यस 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 करेक्ट.
and own people also, like किसके
एंड
साथ क्या
ही
हो
इज
रहा है नहीं
लिविंग
पता.
द थॉट फॉर यू कि अब आप देखो आप क्या करोगे,
जी.
मैंने तो ये किया. यू ब्यूटीफुली मेंशन सुमेधा जी.
Absolutely. See, that's why I suggested that when you read these books, बी विथ द ऑथर नाउ। तो ऑथर के दिमाग में उस वक्त क्या चल रहा था, आप मान लो वही ऑथर अभी आपको बता रहे हैं, तो स्टे विद द ऑथर इन द नाउ मोड, ऑथर का नाउ। ओके, हु वुड लाइक टू रीड नेक्स्ट? सुमिता मैम आप पढ़िए,
ताकि एक
स्टॉप
मिनट,
थिंकिंग।
ऑथर के साथ साथ जो भी आप पढ़ रहे हो, आपके माइंड में क्या चल रहा है,
हाँ
अगर वो साथ साथ में थोड़ा मैच करता जाए कि ऑथर ये कह रहा है क्योंकि उसको ये सूट कर रहा है, मेरे
जी।
सर्कमस्टांसेस ऐसे हैं, मुझे ये सूट कर रहा है, तो दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी गुड, I mean, way of putting it, like thinking and, like understanding yourself and
या
understanding the
या
author also.
Yes, he's stimulating your thoughts or your thinking process.
Or he is giving us a reminder again and again.
Can
That way
can
I
I
will
add a
treat.
point here? Hi.
It's
yes,
like from
yes.
there we are
Yeah.
not to stop thinking.
Yeah. So I just wanted to see in this perspective, no, when you say that I means like it is self as a subject where you act and experience. And then if you're going to talk self as an object, then it is me, like you reflect and evaluate. So the I means it lives the moment, and me, it takes you later, thinks about it, and defines that experience. So this is the format of self which I thought I can imply here.
Very interesting. Okay, who would like to read next?
Read, Pinaki.
हाँ प्लीज
Uh,
मैम।
Stop thinking. Thinking is difficult. I never knew how to stop. It's easy to stay inside your head your head for hours, especially when you are in bed at time. But I can confidently say that 99% of my thoughts in the past have been useless. I didn't do anything with my thoughts most of the time. I didn't solve the problem, nor did I try to understand difficult idea or concepts from the books. I spent a lot of time in my head doing this. What if I fail? Uh, people will think I am a loser. What if I get cancer? I don't want I don't want to be alone. I called that thinking, but it's more like a worrying, stressing, whatever you want. I call it a preoccupied mind. And with that, and the list goes on. I wonder what my boss thinks. What happens if I screw up my and lose my job? I think he didn't care about me. I just keep failing, sorry. Does she love me? Why does my life suck? Why is my life someone or not? I don't care about my job. Is there something wrong with me? I can't finish anything. What's wrong with me? I I I I want to quit. I I just have one question for you. What is the practical use of above thoughts? Yes, I'm waiting. Still no answer exactly. Those those type of thoughts are not helping us, but we all have them. So how do you get rid of them? Well, I have learned that you can't get rid of them. Remember, you can't control our consciousness. This is a beautiful part. We can only control what thoughts we follow through on. You only have to be aware of your thoughts, acknowledge them, but never blame yourself or say, why do we have these thoughts? No one has the answer to that. It's better to be aware of your thoughts and decide what you will ignore and what you will give importance to. For example, the thoughts of quitting whatever I am doing in my life has been on my mind as long as I remember. When I was in high school, I wanted to quit and find a job. When I played basketball, I wanted to quit and later did quit. Later did quit. I can go on and on until I reach the present. No matter how much I love what I do, I thought of quitting and just walking away shows up in my mind at least 3 or 4 times in a month. In the past, those thoughts cost me many nights of sleep. Above 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, I had enough. I wanted to quit thinking. So I started becoming aware of my thoughts instead of always acting on the single thought I had. You don't control me. I would say to myself like a weirdo. But it works. I am much calmer and happier because of it. When I quit, want to quit, I still listen to it because sometimes it is a sign, but more of often it's fair, and I refuse to surrender to it, and neither should you. Thank you.
Wow, what a beautiful chapter.
Yes. Pinaki, this is something, like when I did my first course in Vipassana, I learned that.
Why don't you share something about it, ma'am?
When you get anapan, but later on, step by step, that's what you learn over there. And I think he's also talking about that. Maybe he has not mentioned it.
Mhm. Yeah, let's listen from some others also. Mangalam, ma'am, we can't hear you. Uh,
Of thoughts, yes, but of all the thoughts that you have, then I'm talking in terms of number. If when you talk in terms of number, a lot of negative fear or distracting thoughts are very powerful. So he's trying to tell us prioritize your thoughts. That means learn to use your brains and filter out. So the first chapter is linked to this in that sense that though you have negative thoughts, now filter them out and think of where to what is your purpose. So if your purpose is something, your thoughts orient them accordingly. In that sense, he's trying to say that prioritize your thoughts and realize which are important, which are practical, and which will have a positive result in life. Is that what he's trying to say? This is what I understand it. And that's what he means by stop thinking. That means don't just let your thoughts go like a river which just flows. Stop it like a dam and think which thoughts are useful for you. A dam gives you water which is useful. River just flows by. Hello.
okay, let me suggest a way of addressing this particular chapter. How about addressing it in a way that what I can do now after reading this, what I can do now.
Yeah. Life is a matter of doing things.
Hmm.
Rajkumar sir has lovely.
Yes, Dr. Rajkumar.
See, this chapter is very wonderful. Yesterday night, see, I got a thought ki I have not written a particular appointment of my friend's wedding, which is on 16th of November in my appointment diary. So I said, forget this, stop that thought. Otherwise, I would have got up, checked my diary. So, and when I sleep nowadays, maybe, I'm practicing for last 1 month. I make my thought zero. I do affirmation. I'm very happy. My day was best. I did my best. So, and I also did Vipassana about 3 years back. My energy, and first Vipassana, my energy was 100 times more without exaggeration, I'm saying, than what it was before that. You know, about a year back, I lost a CA election. So for 2 months, there was a thought: I'm always a winner. Why I lost? What I could have done more. As soon as I took 2 months to stop that thought, that why I lost. So stop thinking. I think this is again a very beautiful chapter where the all our worries, stress, like currently there is a dental treatment of my wife is going on. So something went wrong. Periorbital swelling happened 6 days back, Monday. So we consulted four more dental doctors, and many of them, two of them, they said yes. Out of 1,000 treatment which we do, 50 goes wrong. So I have to stop thinking ki why it happened, and I have to think in a right direction. What is a way to move forward? So this is my learning. This is I think each one of us, like connected with the previous chapter, we get 80,000 thoughts every day. 80% of them are negative thoughts. So we must learn putting, stopping our thinking, and perhaps think straight. The title is connected with that. Thank you. And I like the first chapter. First, there are 31 habits. You become what you think. So I always remember James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. That book is written somewhere in 1910 and very celebrated book. Whatever we think, we become like that. Thank you.
So nice. Who would like to add to this?
Actually, finally, he's coming to that now. Ki, whatever thoughts you get, if you just observe them, it should become a part of your life. You don't have to sit and filter this, filter this, and filter that. Slowly, slowly, it should become a part of your life, and it automatically should happen. Ki, this is good for me. This is not good for me.
Mhm.
When you don't have to make an effort, automatically these things will start filtering the negative thoughts because you have learned to observe it equanimously, which is very important. If we are agitated and filtering the thought, again you are going to the same trap. But there is one word called equanimously, which is very important.
Which word? Can you repeat that, madam?
Equanimously, equipoise, equanimously.
Yes, Shilpa. Good to see you.
Good morning, everyone. Um, it's amazing what I'm hearing, what I can take back, my takeaways. I would like to add my experience. Um, this was during one New Year's Eve. I had gone to a monastery in France, and there was a Rinpoche, a Tibetan monk, and he we were talking about thoughts. So he says, "Okay, now I'm going to give you all half an hour, and in this half an hour, you will segregate your thoughts into Priya and Shresht. Um, Priya is something that I would like, and Shresht is what I need to do. So, whatever thoughts come, you have to put them through this sieve of Priya or Shresht, and you just have to put them, yeah. And when you start doing this, I'm not joking, you realize there are so many thoughts which come and which are conflicting, which takes so much of your energy because there's something that you want to do, but it is not rest. It's not your duty. It's not, you don't need to do it. Uh, and just this idea of putting the thoughts to Priya and Shreya, finally, when you keep on doing it, then you can find yourself doing things which are Shreya. Because when you do that, there is a sense of accomplishment, of discipline, because it brings discipline. And it is not always for yourself, it is also for others. That's all that I wanted to share. Thank you.
So nice. As I'm hearing to these different explanations and insights from each one of you, I want to make a suggestion to each one of you. Like as we are coming up with this book uh, review competition in FELD, I would suggest each one of you to participate. And it's not about participating and reviewing the book from A to Z. Pick up some chapters, share your thoughts about that book, about those chapters, actually, and figure out that how that book relates to you in some way or other. So every participant will get 15 minutes. I would strongly recommend you to take advantage of it. और कंपटीशन करने की जरूरत नहीं है because competition is always with self, it is not with anybody else. Because even if you think you are competing with others, you still need to work on yourself, as Shilpa was talking about. Okay, those two things, what is important, what you are doing about it. So competition is always with self, it is not with anybody else. And it's a myth that I'm competing with somebody. You cannot compete with anybody, because the only option you have is to work on yourself. So you are basically competing with your own limitations. कि ये मेरा limitation है, let me make myself a better version so that I can handle this limitation in a more powerful, more constructive, and more structured way. That is the intention, to follow someone. So it's a recommendation to each one of you. Be there as a participant and actually engage yourself into it. 10-15 minute ka hai, do take advantage of this. Thankfully, I am the only judge over there, nobody else to judge you. So I will find out some people to judge you as well. But be there. I strongly recommend you be there. All right. So good. So let us go ahead with the next chapter. This is so amazing, so interesting. So my only take from this particular chapter is you only have to be aware of your thoughts. Like when I'm proposing you what to become a part of that competition, think what is going on in your head right now. You only have to be aware of your thoughts. Acknowledge them. Whatever thoughts going in your mind when I'm giving you this invitation to be there. Observe what is happening. Acknowledge them, but never blame yourself or say, why do I have these thoughts? You know? So whatever thoughts are coming to you, they may be those common thoughts, whatever they are, as author was suggesting. So do not blame yourself. Why do I have these thoughts? No one has the answer to that, neither you. It's better to be aware of your thoughts and decide what you will ignore and what you will give importance to. So I
So
strongly recommend you.
is he trying to say that we don't grow when things are easy? We grow when we face challenges. He doesn't want you to go through life. He wants you to grow through life.
Yeah, that is your interpretation. That's
Oh,
your interpretation. So again, I'm coming back to that one thought, that it's better to be aware of your thoughts and decide what you will ignore and what you will give importance to. So figure out what are the thoughts you can give importance to so that you become a part of that competition and sharing your thoughts about the books which are being selected for the competition. I'll strongly recommend each one of you to be there. I want to see each one of you to be there. Even if it is for 10 minutes, it's nothing like that. Okay,
where?
please be there.
Where?
Huh?
Where did you say we have to be there?
FELD book competition, book sharing, book review competition.
Oh,
Okay, good. So let's go ahead with this chapter. Who would like to read?
Shall I read this?
Yes, sir, please.
Inside your control versus outside your control. If you want to have useful thoughts, Here is rule of thumb. Only think about things you can control. That automatically eliminates about 99% of your thoughts because there is very little you control in life. And there is a beautiful picture outside your control, inside your control. It's a very small circle. Only focus on what you can control. Things like your desires, actions, words, intentions. What is a useless thought? Anything out of your control and without a useful purpose. Do you ever think about the past? That is the perfect example of a random thought that lacks a purpose. Unless you are reflecting on a past decision or mistake you made, in the case of reflection, you are doing something useful. But other than that, every thought about the past serves no purpose. From that point of view, it is useless. Ever fantasize about the future? That is also useless. I have discovered two main types of useful thoughts. Thinking about how you can solve problems. A problem is just an unanswered question. Put your brain to use and think about how you can solve problems. There are a lot of those on this earth. Understanding knowledge. That means this try to internalize knowledge and think about how you can use that knowledge to improve your life, career, work, relationships, etc. That is it. You can ignore every other thought if you are constantly thinking without a useful purpose. It is because you have not trained your mind yet. You have to get out of your head. If not, you will go mental. Everyone will, no exception. Ask yourself, is that worth it? Do you really want to waste your time, energy, and life on useless thinking? You and I both know the answer to that. Commit to stop thinking about useless things. Start taking control of your mind. All that worrying about the past and the future is not going to help you. It never did and it never will. It's a very small chapter. I am applying this. I am a member of a housing society, my building housing society. And as per my perception, there are certain things which can be done better or they are not done well. But I am a single person who is in minority. Like in any society, half the people don't attend the managing committee meetings. Other half is on one side. So I have now changed my method of working because what is not in my control, I've stopped thinking. But at the same time, I write, one email to chairman every day. What can be done better? So like this, there may be many examples where if what is not in our control, if we stop thinking about that and maybe related with previous chapter. So this is my sharing on this chapter. Thank you.
This is so beautiful. It's like a real life, real time experience sharing. Fantastic. I would like to add to this. This is so beautiful.
I would like
Only focus on what you control. Things like your desires, actions, words, intentions. और भी कुछ है that you can control. You can prepare a list of that also.
I like about it a lot. This is where one can really work. Desires, you don't have any control on that. You can take action only if the intentions are good. Then you can go to in a better level, better way of doing things.
I really like this paragraph. What is a useless thought? Anything out of your control and without a useful purpose. So do you ever think about the past? That's perfect example of a random thought that lacks a purpose unless you're reflecting on a past decision or mistake you made. And then he's talking about the future as well. That fantasizing future. Because it is yet to happen, you don't even know. That is also useless. So he is talking about two main types of useful thought. This is according to him, by the way. I mean, it's not necessary that you must accept whatever he is saying. It's just he is saying it, and you can think over it, ponder upon it, and let's see if that you can make it useful for you as well or not. Because these are also thoughts which you have to ask yourself whether they are useful for you or not. The thinking about how you can solve problems and understanding knowledge. Yes, who would like to add to this? I want to listen to some more people. Rajeshwari and all these beautiful angels are here sitting. Lalita, Manish, Rekha. So please go ahead. Inside your control versus outside your control.
First of all, I would really pay my heartfelt gratitude to all the masterminds who are present over here. What I feel everyone experience adds more value when we read together. Because when I am reading, I'm having my own thoughts and I'm judging as per that. But when other comes and join and share there, I get a new perspective to think and mold. Yesterday I was reading this book. I liked one line here that I am a human being and I have got the ability to think. So that I like as human being, this is the best gift I have got to think. And meanwhile thinking, some of the time I overthink also. So that is also biggest demerit a human being is having. So what I can do as per the book we are reading and we have heard from so many other people also. What is best for me, I must work on that. The rest of the thing, I just let it as the river, when we see a river, the water flows. So like that, let the thought also flow, which is in my control. As this chapter is also telling, work on the things which is in my control. So I will work on the things which is best for me, which is in my control, rather than thinking which is not helpful for me. That's all from my side. And so many other things that I learn while listening to you people. As Silpa was saying, work on the stressed thought, which will keep me in discipline and bring ultimate success or whatever the success I'm looking for. And you just said that leave the book. When you are reading something, apply it. So that is also wonderful learning from Mangla ma'am. Also, she brings a different perspective. I'm thankful to her. Also, very strong lady. I found her. She's the first who always read, and that she has made her mind. So that I also like that courage. A person should learn from her. And Sumedha ma'am is also a very wonderful lady, very calm and composed. And for Rekha ma'am, I always feel that she's like a mother to me. We both, our names start for RR. So thank you so much, everyone.
ब्यूटीफुल. अब बाकी लोग सोचे भाई हमने क्या गलती की, राजेश्वरी हमारी नाम क्यों नहीं ले रहे हैं.
It's not
Actually,
like
there
that.
is a beautiful line I used to
मैंने ऐसा जरूर
explain
सोचा.
a lot earlier. Now I forgot it today.
सर का जो
Rajeshwari
अपना
said
thought है
something about
वो तो
water and
हमेशा
मैं
water.
उनका स्टूडेंट
I
रह
will
चुका
always
हूँ.
used to tell myself,
राज
don't
सर
push the
तो अभी
water,
प्लस
let the river
लाइक
flow.
वो कि जितने फ्लायर ग्रुप में आते हैं आई थिंक इन दिस एज ही सो एक्टिव आई एम जस्ट थिंकिंग जब मैं उस जगह पे पहुंच जाऊंगी तो आई शुड बी आल्सो वर्किंग ऑन सो मेनी एरियाज each and every day early in the morning by 5 6 he used to send the flyer in the groups. So चीजों पे work कर पाना in the, so it's really good and marvelous. Or so many things he's doing. It's not like that. I have taken some of the name. Not all are very precious to me, and this group means a lot.
Fantastic. Beautiful. So let's go ahead with the next chapter. Who would like to read? Lalita, would you like to read? सुबह से आप चुपचाप बैठी हुई हैं.
Good
So
morning,
I'm just
sir. Yeah, sure.
sweet morning, sweet morning. I'm just sharing the chapters. So here we
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Don't trust your mind. Oh my God.
Don't trust your mind. Have you ever made a decision that seemed illogical looking back? We are very illogical beings. Every person creates their own social reality. The way you view the wood, the world is completely subjective because we all have cognitive basis. The concept of cognitive basis was introduced in 1972 by two psychologists, Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. A cognitive, a cognitive systematic thinking either that impact judgment and therefore our decisions. My favorite cognitive base is the attention bias. It is it is scientific evidence. Wait a minute, my phone. It is it's scientific evidence for the idea that your life is the result of your thoughts. The, uh, the attentional bias states that our perceptions are affected by our thoughts, and naturally, our perception determine our action and decision, which make up your lives. If you have negative thoughts, you also have a negative perception of life. That's what it says. Our mind might be illogical, but it's also simple at the same time. Take one of the most well-known cognitive biases, the confirmation bias. It explains the behavior of confirm. It explains the behavior of confirming our preconceptions. If you believe in something, you will try hard to find information, clues, and signs to back that up. In other words, you do everything to prove you are not wrong. Instead of looking at facts, you look at beliefs. And that's what all cognitive bias do. As of As of this writing, there are 106 decision-making related cognitive biases known. I, I have read about most of them, and I have read several books and studies about cognitive biases too. My conclusion is that your mind can't be trusted. Maybe you conclusion, maybe my conclusion is also a cognitive bias. Who knows? What it comes down to it's down to is this: avoid making decisions based on beliefs, obvious logic, and even science. Scientists are also human beings. That means they have their own cognitive biases. They are notorious for finding evidence for their preconception. The solution to making better decisions is not more knowledge. Instead, I have found that pragmatic and neutral perception perspective leads to better informed decision. Unfortunately, there is so much things as the best decision. If that was the case, we lived in a perfect world full of people who made logical and practice, practical decisions. I like to look at it is the way. There are only good informed and bad informed decisions. It is very appealing to think we have got it all figured out because we have read a few books or studies. There is just one problem. You still can can't trust your judgment. No matter how much knowledge you have, being aware of that simple thoughts helps you make better informed decisions. Every time I am stuck in the thinking pattern, I try to break away by looking at the list of cognitive biases. It's free and easy. Just go the Wikipedia for list of cognitive biases. You will find that most biases seems like common sense. And that's exactly the point. Cognitive biases explain our illogical behavior. Thank you, sir.
Wow. So beautiful, huh? Lalita, what comes to your mind when you're reading this?
Um, when I was reading these lines, sir, I think that so many thoughts every day come in our mind. Maybe some thoughts are logical and some are illogical. That all are related to our life. But we have to decide it, from which thought we have to move forward. And we have to take the right decision to go that with the right thoughts. That's it, sir.
Hmm.
Thank you. Actually, my screen is not that much visual from my phone. That's why I
Okay.
get disturbed.
It's
Yes,
okay.
sir.
It's okay. Even that is also
Cognitive
thought.
cognitive biases बड़ा अच्छा word use किया. Actually, we all are victims of cognitive bias.
Victims of cognitive bias. Yes, that
Yes,
is the statement. We are all
yes.
victims of cognitive bias.
Yes.
Hey, why, Pinaki, why you said we are victim of cognitive bias?
Okay, let me put it this way. See, cognitive bias means fundamental. अगर हम देखें तो it's our belief. So every action
Yeah.
that we are taking, every thought that we are thinking, that we are connecting the dots is based on what I think this is real. So the world that you see around you is real for you. And your reality is based on the beliefs that you have created with the experiences in your life. तो जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना कि कभी कभी आप बोलोगे ये बंदा तो ऐसा ही है. This is
No, that's
again
okay.
an example of cognitive bias. आपने पहले ही मान लिया कि ये बंदा ऐसा ही है. Whereas if you connect it with neuro-linguistic program, it says that people are not their behavior. But many a times we connect people with their behavior और उसको हम label कर देते हैं. And instead of saying this is Manish or like he is Manish, I would say he is like this. Oh, he's a person who will always look at innovative side of any conversation. है ना? तो हम उसको बोल सकते हैं कि मनीष इज इंक्विजिटिव. और ये मेरा cognitive bias है because I have seen Manish doing that. He is always looking at some way to connect the dots with something which is amazing, which is interesting, which is inquisitive. है ना? Similarly, Mangala ma'am, she will always look at how this can be thought in a different way, how it can be thought in a way such that I can create a new angle to this discussion. So whenever she is in any session, I expect her she must add some new points, new dimension to this conversation. वो मेरा cognitive bias बन चुका है. I always look forward to that. Now, if Mangala ma'am comes tomorrow and says something very usual thing, हाँ ये तो ऐसा ही होता है. So then I will say नहीं नहीं अब बात नहीं बनेगी, अब उनकी नहीं सुनेंगे, है ना? So this is a kind of cognitive bias. कि you expect certain behavior from certain people because of your experience, past experiences with that person. Or event or situations. आपको पता है कि this is how this thing works. You know how a mobile works, you know how a laptop works, though you're watching Zoom or using Zoom on both the devices. है ना?
Yeah, but
So this is what the author is talking about. कि just catch yourself what cognitive biases you are carrying with yourself and don't trust them always.
yeah. So on the same line, what I'm saying is, see, when we are saying we are victim of cognitive bias, so itself, this is my thought that I am just attracting negative thoughts. because I don't want to use victim or
Oh,
anything.
it's not about negative thought. It's only about a pattern of thoughts. Nothing to do with negative or positive.
No, but still, I would replace that with, that this is a like, instead of saying that I'm a victim of something, I'll just say
Uh,
that is just a small negative thought, and it will just fade away when I just shift
Quite
my
likely,
thought
quite
to.
likely. Actually, what happens when we read this word victim, the only thing that comes to our mind is something negative associated with it. A victim
Yeah,
is, अगर आप victim के actual meaning देखेंगे, तो technically it has two meaning. One is that meaning which is associated with the legal system. कि victim का मतलब है you are not something, you have not done something which is good for the society.
yeah, yeah.
Because that is the word, that is the experience of victim we have in our mind since our childhood. Technically, victim means an outcome. That this is an outcome. You are behaving this way as an outcome of something which happened repeatedly in your experience in the past. You know? So,
Yeah.
like you are a victim of a late riser. You cannot get up early in the morning. है ना? तो आप बोले हाँ मैं victim हूँ, I cannot get up early in the morning. है ना? So this is what the author is suggesting here, that, or right, Rekha ma'am was talking about, that we are victim of our cognitive bias. ये भी cognitive bias ही है. When you're telling yourself that most people they don't get up early in the morning unless they are forced to do it, and I am one of them. So I don't want to. Probably I don't want to get up early in the morning. Forget about whether I will get up early in the morning or not. मेरा cognitive bias बोलता है क्या फायदा उठ के छोड़ो. अभी मैं सर्दी के मौसम में आई एम एंजॉयिंग माय बेड टाइम एट 12 डिग्री सेल्सियस. व्हाई शुड आई गेट अप अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग? क्या फर्क पड़ता है बुक पढूं ना पढूं? दीज आर आल्सो आउटकम ऑफ योर कॉग्निटिव बायस.
Yeah,
कॉग्निटिव बायस वर्ड का मतलब उत्पन्न भी ऐसे हुआ. दिस इज हाउ दिस टर्म आल्सो केम अप, कॉग्निटिव बायस. Yes,
yeah,
Mangalam,
but
you
actually,
want to add something?
Is he trying to say that of all the thoughts that come to our mind, the struggle is between the logical and the, I wouldn't say illogical, but say something which is not logic, in the sense something which is not from one thought to another, like feelings. So the struggle is between that, because when he talks in terms of practicality, I think he's not stressing logic, he's stressing feelings, he's stressing practicality, he's talking of results, which may not be the result of your rational thought, but yet they are practical. So I think the struggle is between that. Is man basically logical, um, or other things, or based on emotions, feelings, practicality? Is the struggle between these two extremes and polarization which he's speaking of?
Okay, how about replacing the word struggle with comparison?
Yes, it could be comparison or
So
replacement.
your cognitive bias is saying it's a struggle. My
Yes,
cognitive
sir.
bias is saying
Yes,
it's a
sir.
comparison.
So I think it is between logic, which could be replaced by feelings, emotions, because all decisions in life cannot be just feelings, nor can all decisions and aspects of life be based 100% on logic. Is that the struggle which he's mentioning? I am not aware of, but this is what I draw
Yeah,
from
so ma'am,
my
what I'm
reading.
suggesting is that I'm just giving a quick idea on this. That when you are using the word struggle, I'm replacing that word with comparison. So struggle is your cognitive bias. Comparison is my cognitive bias. It's not a struggle between this and that. It's a comparison between this and that. Like you are comparing that whether it is logically correct or emotionally correct, or it should be handled logically, it should be handled emotionally. You are actually
Okay.
contemplating for that matter. There is no struggle. Like according to me, I'm not saying that whatever you're saying is wrong. According to me, according to my cognitive bias, it's only a matter of comparison.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, maybe
again,
we
as I
compare
was
the
saying,
two and then find a solution or some,
with what works is do what works, as was author was
yeah, what
suggesting
works.
in a couple of chapters before. Do what works. And essentially, we only come out with a solution which works for me. I think which works for me. Accordingly, I take an action. ऑटो लेना है या कैब लेना है, चलो हमने तय किया नहीं ऑटो लेना है क्योंकि आई डोंट वांट टू पे फॉर द कैब. Now you open an Uber app and you discover, oh my God, the cab is asking lower than an auto, चलो फिर तो हम कैब ही लेंगे, चलो कैब बुक करो, like that. So here the cognitive bias is, I do not want to spend much on transport. I don't want to spend more, forget about much. I don't want to spend more on transport. अब मोर के चक्कर में अगर मुझे उबर सस्ता दिख गया, so I will say, oh चलो चलो आज फिर आज ऑटो नहीं लेंगे, आज हम तो कैब में ही जाएंगे. So that just observe that what kind of thoughts are coming to you, and are there useful thoughts or useless thoughts, as the author was suggesting just in the previous chapter. Catch yourself. So if I talk about myself, let me give a very real time, real life experience. When I need to go to a meeting and I decide that I won't go by my own car, so then I look for a Uber cab और मे बी ओला कैब, नॉट एन ओला ऑटो, क्योंकि मुझे अभी उनके सामने जाके बैठना है टाई शाई पहन के, तो आई शुड नॉट बी इन अ शेप विच डजंट लुक प्रोफेशनल, तो आई एम टेकिंग अ कैब. नाउ माय मीटिंग इज ओवर, आई डोंट नीड दैट, so while coming back then I am taking an auto. I am very clear about it that this is what I do. मैं आपको
That
एग्जांपल दे
is
रहा हूं कि whenever, for example, अभी राजकुमार सर यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, I can give a very clear example. Whenever he comes to Delhi and I make up a point that I am going to meet him, if I go by own car, perfect, no challenge. But if I choose to take public transport, I take a cab to go and meet him. But on my way back, I prefer to choose an auto. Unless I get a better deal, which is almost close to the amount of money that I'm going to pay for either auto or a cab. Or maybe I take metro. I take an auto, I go to nearest metro station, I take the metro, I come to my nearest metro station, and from there I again take an auto and come back home. इतना सब activities मैं करता हूँ based on my own cognitive bias. And I have my own logic there for that as well. कोई नहीं, I will go by metro, it might take say half an hour, 45 minutes extra to travel the route, but I'll spend time with myself. ये भी मेरा cognitive bias है अपने साथ. So I can open my laptop, I can open my mobile, I can read some good thoughts, I can listen to some good or YouTube videos जो मुझे बाकी शायद opportunity नहीं मिलेगा. So I can spend my time, I can invest my time in these things. ये भी मेरा cognitive bias है. कि now I'm judging कि yes, I will use this extra 45 minutes not only to travel but also to spend time with myself, listen to some good audio books maybe, or watching some or listening to some YouTube videos. तो आप भी ऑब्जर्व की, जैसे बहुत सारे छोटे 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 कॉग्निटिव बायसेस है व्हिच आर कंट्रोलिंग आवर लाइफ. सो व्हाट ऑथर इज सजेस्टिंग, जस्ट आइडेंटिफाई देम and start taking control of those thoughts so that they work in your favor rather than against you. Many times we don't even notice how these cognitive biases are working against us.
So Pinaki,
That's my way of looking at it.
so what is the main message from this chapter? Like, don't trust your mind. Like, what is the main message?
What do you think?
Mm. See, what I think is, sometimes, see, we don't trust your mind means, let's say we are put to a new situation, right? Which is new to you, which is new to me actually. So, like, we use our mind based on our current state of mind. But sometimes, when we think that, okay, you are not really getting the good sense out of it. So sometimes you happen to use your gut feeling or your, like what you really, that is outside the mind, your gut feeling. Yes, you really want to do it and you are ready for the failure also, but you still want to try that. So sometimes you have to go beyond your mind actually. That's what I can get, but I didn't really get the meaning much.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What else it could be?
Yeah, use your gut feeling, use your, like intuition. Maybe you can say a mix of, you can say mix of gut feeling, mind and intuition. कहते ना कि वो दिल क्या बोल रहा है. Sometimes you have to follow your gut, your heart actually to take that action.
Yeah. How about saying the same thing in first person? Instead of saying you, how about saying it in I, me, my, myself?
I, I, I will, like sometimes what happen, that you have to, like,
Say I have to. Sometimes what happens, I have to instead of you have to.
yeah, I have to take action. because sometimes it happens that when you take action, you get
When
some
I
result.
take action.
When I take action, I get some result, maybe not 100%, but this is one step to that success actually. So I'll take action based on my gut feeling, my intuition, like what my heart truly wants, and it works. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the beauty of neuro-linguistic programming. And it says you have answers to all the questions that you ask. The way you want to get the answer is, or the way you can actually get closer to that answer is by simply replacing you, we with I, me, my, myself. You got that?
Yeah.
That's why it says don't trust your mind. When you are trusting your mind by using the words you, we, that is where we get into that trap. So to come
I
out
would
of that
like
trap,
one thing, sir.
yes, Lalita ma'am.
Let me clear, sir, that this term cognitive bias, that is related to our convenience. According to our convenience, we have changed these things. Is it
हाँ,
true?
cognitive bias means like आपने इनको ऐसे मान लिया, आपको लगता है कि ये ऐसा ही है. That is what cognitive bias is all about. मुझे लगता है ये तो ऐसी ही है, ये तो ऐसा ही है, ये these things are just like this. Yes, Vasu, add your thoughts.
On our memories also.
Sumita
Past,
ma'am, little louder.
past memories, whatever we have collected in our memories, we work according to that many a time.
Yes, exactly.
It's not many a times, ma'am. It's all the time.
Yes, all the time, but जल्दी से मुंह में many a time निकल गया है.
हाँ, because
Sometime.
uh, because now you're logically thinking कि वो many times होता है या all the time होता है. So it's better to take the safe route, and the safe route is many times.
We do it all the time actually. पर
Yeah,
आपसे डर के
and even if it is not
जल्दी
we, at least I do kind of thing. Yes,
आपसे
Vasu.
डर लगा और जल्दी से मुंह से यही निकल गया.
This is also a cognitive bias that
Yeah,
किसी
Yes,
के
absolutely.
बारे
yes.
में आपको डर लगा या क्या हुआ.
Of course.
So that's what I was sharing on that day in four agreements also, that whatever you do or say, there is always a bias. And there are 13 kind of bias that cannot be controlled easily unless you take a conscious decision to control them. So I was just looking at the name of the chapter. I just joined now and I was listening to things. So one word is, it is written as don't trust your mind. So I have not read
Yes,
what
that is the
is
one.
there
That is the
inside.
one.
And I could hear that something about cognitive bias is being discussed. So I'll just connect something with the trust. So I will ask any two persons to tell how do you build trust? Or how do you feel trusted with someone? When do you trust someone? Or how you have built trust to someone?
Is it based on thoughts come behavior of the person? Thoughts come behavior.
I'm not uh, I'm not trying to get an answer. I want your opinion. I don't know what is the right answer. I just want to know what do you think about it.
Maybe because when you love them unconditionally, there is a trust that develops, and
When I love someone unconditionally, then
yeah, when
you
I love somebody unconditionally, I believe whatever they say, and there is
Mhm.
a trust that gets developed.
Okay. Is it because of the trust that you love them unconditionally, or
No.
is it
Love
because of
precedes. Love precedes. When
okay,
I love them, so when I'm so blind towards them, so I'm in full acceptance to whatever they say. So that love gives rise to the trust is what.
okay? So
Ma'am,
you are saying
I
that
think just the
love is
other way around, that when a person behaves properly, when a person behaves in an inclusive manner, by good, I mean inclusive, because society and thoughts are such that we have to connect ourselves with people for good relations. When I have those thoughts, people will automatically love me. I think it's the other way around, that behavior also matters.
Yeah,
With
I under
family members, it is love which comes first, but with the outside world, it is the behavior which comes first. And when I accept and admire somebody's positive behavior, then I begin to love the person. I mean,
yeah.
love in a good sense, not always in physical form. I love my teachers. I love my friends. I love my circle of interaction. So there, the behavior and the thoughts precede love, I think. The two are reverse.
Yeah, that goes, Mangala ma'am, like when you are in acceptance, only when you're in acceptance of the other person's thought, when you value their thoughts, so you automatically you tend to form a love. I mean, you love them. You love them for their quality.
Yeah. Love them for what they are. Yes.
Yeah.
So again, my point was we're talking about trust, not about love.
Yes.
So
So that,
if I'm working in a company and I work with a owner, there is no love there. There is 100% business.
okay.
So it is,
So now let us uh, move the context to some different thing where you are working and you have a owner, you are a business owner, you have a worker. Now what is trust?
trust is the behavior, trust is the thoughts, trust is the sincerity with which you work. See, in personal life, I think love comes first and then the rest follows. In professional world or the outside world, it is your thoughts and behavior which dominate and create a certain amount of trust and faith and build relations.
Yeah.
The two
In
are
this case,
absolutely opposite, I think.
yeah, and more than opposite, when it comes to a business world, when it comes in a professional life, there is a congruence that is met. So when your congruence, that is when your ideas and their idea, when it matches, their trust is developed.
Yeah.
So that congruence is there. So once that congruence is there, a trust is developed.
Wonderful. So there are two parts now. One is there is a personal relationship and there is a professional relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I speak? Yeah. So I'll just, I have very simple to say. When words and action is in alignment, we develop a trust.
Because it is saying don't trust your mind.
No, no,
So
no.
don't you
I
love
will
your
go with
mind?
that. Just let me complete two things. What even I just also joined a few minutes back, and I'll go with the title and I'll go with your question. So, when the words and action of a person are not in an alignment, we cannot trust that person. Number one. Number two, in case of business or in an organization and in a corporate world, it is always the system that we look upon it rather than the person. So if there is a system which gives you the transparency, it helps us to build the trust. Number three, when we go on the title of this chapter, don't trust your mind. What the author, according to me, what the author is trying to say is, whenever you there is something called as a cognitive or negative bias, which means that our brain is so smart to trick us. So whenever there is certain kind of fear arising from our mind, it is our duty, it is my duty to validate that fear. So what is the source of that fear, where it is coming from it, and how do I prepare myself for that? That means when the title is Don't Trust Your Mind, what it actually means to say is whatever comes to your mind, just validate that thing. What as Pinaki said, the source of the belief, validate that the source of the belief, from where it is coming to it, is it right, what data points are there, and how do I prepare? So this is what I understand in a very short, crisp and concise manner. I try to so sorry, I will continue to this same discussion in the next Sunday, because I have one clarity call right now. So that's all my thinking, which I wanted to share with you all.
I missed the last part of the thing. I was not able to hear that.
it says that like for example, when there was a COVID, right? So during the COVID time, like we were so much glued to the news and all those things. So our mind had, oh my God, my clarity call started. So I'll continue. Oh, so sorry. I'll continue the discussion next Sunday. I have to mean, like, don't trust your mind means to validate your source of belief in a simple way, that where this belief is coming from. So when you validate the source with a proper data in your hand, that is where you matches the logical mind versus your feeling mind. So you have to validate with the right evidence and with the right data, because our brain is very tricky. It will try to put you all types of tricks. It will try to give you all type of tricks, but you have to validate it with the data. And so the validation is the key word, and that forms the basis of the cognitive bias, because our brain is glued towards the negativity because of our age, the development of the brain, if you go back to the evolution of a brain. So sorry, I need to take a leave and I'm in hurry. But it was a right discussion, and I will definitely continue from the next Sunday.
Beautiful. So, yeah, Rashmi. Rashmi, can you come up?
Just excuse me, I need to leave now.
Okay, ma'am.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, everybody.
My pleasure, ma'am. Yes, Rashmi, would you like to add? Or Hardik? And don't lose this opportunity. It's an opportunity to share your mind. All right, Samina. Would you like to add to this conversation?
Good morning, sir. It's,
Good morning. Good morning.
I joined quite late, so I'm not able to give my opinion, but I wish I was there, so I would have given my views honestly and openly. But I'll try to follow you.
Great. Yeah. So, yeah, Rekha.
Okay, I was waiting for it. Actually, yes. This first of all, I would like to say our mind is so designed that it is a tendency to glue to the negative thoughts, negative things. Uh, right? We need to be conscious about that. Again, this is about cognitive biases. Like I was telling, cognitive biases, it is the result of your past feelings, thoughts, experiences, even memories. Your childhood memories also play a role in your cognitive biases, right? So we need to be, just in one line, we need to be conscious about my thinking. मुझे ये जो चैप्टर के ऊपर का जो हेडिंग है वो बहुत ही अमेजिंग लगा, डोंट ट्रस्ट योर माइंड। ये कमाल का ही है कि ये इसने मुझे और कॉन्शियस किया कि अरे नहीं नहीं, मुझे नहीं मानना, मुझे पहले वैलिडेट करना है कि ये कहाँ से आ रहा है, ये डाटा कहाँ से निकल के आ रहा है, लाइक सुमिता सेड। सो दैट इज आई, मतलब ये मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी आज की का टेक अवे है कि डोंट ट्रस्ट योर माइंड, यू नीड टू बी alert, you need to be conscious about that thoughts and feelings and whatever coming in your mind. And I can analyze those cognitive biases also, not trusting that biases. This is the great learning for me. Thank you so much for this.
There's a famous book with the title "Don't Trust What You're Thinking." उसके ऊपर एक पूरा किताब है.
Don't trust what you're thinking. Wow, nice. मैं तो ये टाइटल पढ़ के ही मुझे लगा अरे ये कभी सोचा ही नहीं, इतने सिंपल स्मॉल सेंटेंस में इतना कुछ छुपा हुआ है, इतना कुछ है, ट्रेजर है ये हमारे लिए एक थिंकिंग के लिए. दिस इज सो नाइसली प्लेस्ड एंड थैंक यू सो मच पिनाकी, यू गिफ्टेड मी दिस बुक व्हेन यू मेट इन दिल्ली. Really.
Yeah, I was in between. So what I was trying to say, why I started the conversation is how mind overpowers other things because it has that cognitive bias. So I have heard this story sometime wherein there is a actor called as Walter, and he went to a lake and he was boating. And while he was boating, the boat was going and the boatman was driving. This person stood up and some people started shouting, "Hello, Walter, hello, Walter." He started waving them. And as the boat came a little front, the boat fell down into the water. Although the water was at low level, there was no injury or nothing bad happened. He came out. He was a bit unhappy that when there was such a incident, what that was going to happen, why people were so much interested to wish him at that point of time. They should have helped to save him when they realized that. So he came out and he started shouting on the people. You people say you are fans of me. You are calling me hello, Walter. And I fell down into the lake and my clothes got dirty. I got a bit hurt and all that. So he said that. Then the people did not know he was Walter. And they were saying it is low water. So they were trying to help him by saying low water, low water. But this man heard it as hello, Walter, hello, Walter. So that's how mind makes up. So that is why I think it is said don't trust your mind. Remember this part when you are in an abnormal situation. Just think what the person in front of you is actually trying to say and connect with it. Just always remember whether someone is saying low water or it is hello water.
And Vasuji, I would also like to add one thing, like, with respect to cognitive behavior therapy, see, don't trust your mind. What they mean is, like Aaron Beck, he came out with this cognitive behavior therapy where there are a lot of distortions. Like he found that depressed patients, they experience so much of negative thoughts in them, and these thoughts, they arise spontaneously. It comes just like that. And so these thoughts are called as automatic thoughts. So when the patient's automatic thoughts, when they fell into these categories, when they fall into these categories, that is, they have their negative idea about themselves, the world, and the future. So, helping these patients identify and evaluate these automatic thoughts, he was able to identify the distortions that the patients had and make them think more realistically. So, as a result, he found, when this was rationalized, the patient felt better emotionally and they were able to behave more functionally. So, this is what he meant by don't trust the mind, in the sense, because you have your negative emotions within you always. These are all automatic thoughts. So, once you are consciously aware of these thoughts, you can lead a beautiful life. This is what he meant by don't trust your mind, because don't go by the negative distortions that you already have, which we have. There are a lot of distortions according to in psychology, so all these needs to be filtered and then processed for you to uh, lead a good life.
May I add one sentence or thought?
Yes.
I think the challenge is between negative and distorted thoughts and what is useful on one hand, and on the other, whether I want to fit into a particular system, like in my professional world, or other people's thoughts, or whether I want to stand out. If I want to just fit into the system, it's relatively easy. I have to blindly follow what the other person says, or adjust, or adapt, or tolerate. But when I want to stand out, I have a different line of thought, and that line gives me a different opportunity, different windows which I can open, and where I can impress myself on the others. So I think the struggle or the challenge is, or a comparison, as Sir was saying, is between whether I want to fit into a system or whether I want to stand out. It is for us to decide. And that is what he said. I think he means when he says, don't trust your thoughts. Am I
Don't
right?
trust your mind.
Am I right, sir?
And there's nothing right or wrong about it. What I like that instead of struggle, you used a very powerful word, challenge, this time.
Yes.
So that is even interesting or inquisitive than the word comparison. ऐसा ही होता है, that's how this is like what Padma was talking about. उसको अगर हम खूब simply, if I use a very simplified way of looking at it, it's called pattern interrupt. Very simple way of looking at it. Just I am following a particular pattern as per my cognitive bias. The moment I could catch it, I have an opportunity to change that pattern or break that
Correct.
pattern and create a new
Absolutely.
pattern.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so this is
It's like
exactly what happened
always
in
being,
just
yes,
in
it's
just
like
in just
always being
last
right.
half an hour. This is what happened.
Yes.
The word struggle was replaced with challenge.
Yes.
It just happened like that.
The major distortions that we have, one of the major distortion is always being right. So that's also there.
Yes,
I understand. Yes.
that's why the communication model of the mind with which the NLP start, the foundation of NLP, it starts with this word called distortion only. The
Yes.
distortion is all the meaning that you are making out of whatever is happening in your life, including the words that you're listening and including the words that you're using to uh, express your impression or perception about something. So it's all about distortion only. Your meaning is what you believe is right.
Yes.
Great, phenomenal session, yeah. What kind of discussions we are having? Oh wow, Maza, you made my day. Yes, Shilpa, close the session. Go ahead. You
Yeah.
wanted to share something? Yeah, please
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I just wanted to share a quote, a German quote, which says, if I translate, thoughts do not have arms or hands and legs, yeah, hands and feet. You know what it means? That it's not a living thing. It's your creation, and you cannot believe in it. You cannot trust it. So don't get involved into it completely. So I just wanted to share. I just realized
Absolutely.
some of the German sayings are really, really quotes or idioms really fit to life very well.
Yeah, so we need
Thank
to feed the brain, not just the body.
Agreed. At the same time, I have another perspective. We are all again into even this everything what we are into doing. When do we take the time to be being? Were we were we brought into life over here just to do things or just to be? So this is a question that I ask myself, and I try to ask myself every day, how many percent of is doing and how much is being? And I'm telling you, I find my personal opinion in being, I'm not thoughtless because that's impossible. Then you are Buddha if you are thoughtless. But at the same time, there can be a glimpse of enlightenment when there is slowing of thoughts or at a slower pace. And that is through mindfulness. And when I'm into being, uh, I realize my potential of being a human being and being in joy. That's it. Life is here, is presented to us to enjoy.
Absolutely. Great. Phenomenal session. I just want to share this book which I was talking about with Rekha. So we can read this book together also, but what you can do, just get a PDF version and start reading it. Maybe says 2 pages a day will be good enough. It's a thin book, not big, and बहुत सुंदर book है. Even this is a book which you can also read chapter by chapter. Beautiful book. Don't believe everything you think by Joseph Nguyen. बहुत सुंदर book है. जरूर पढ़िएगा. So that's all for today. I'll share the recordings as soon as it's available. And thank you so much once again for being in this
Thank
session
you.
for last 90 minutes. Let's close the session
Thank you
and make
so much,
your
sir.
weekend amazing. You know, don't let it become amazing. Just take the responsibility and make it amazing. Bye.